Is still on second reading. Is there any further discussion? Senator Sullivan to speak.
Thank you, Madam President. So the first question that I have for this body is, how did we get here? How are we in a place where we are debating protecting children? Most of the bills that we have had before us this session talk to parental rights and the protections of children. And I think we really need to evaluate why that is what's coming before us repeatedly. Even the last bill that we had, we're talking about parents and parental control. These are children who belong to a family. They don't belong to the school district. Parents don't lose their rights when they say, okay, please educate my child. And until very recently, parents were partners. They were the third leg of that stool of education. The child, the parent, the teacher. And parents have been left out of that conversation, which is why our constituents are coming to us and demanding these bills. The things that we heard in committee aren't, to my colleague in District 4, we're not talking about a Midsummer Night's Dream or some poetry that has some innuendos in it. We're talking about flat out pornography and things that if I, as a regular citizen, handed to a child, I could be arrested for. And this is why it has escalated to the point where our constituents are saying we need something done. We're kept on the outside. And again, we're not talking about banning books or burning books, and we're not talking about keeping any materials out of the hands of adults. We are talking about children. Children who are in an environment to learn, strictly to learn. If they are 18 years old and they want other materials, the public library is of course open to them. And I did speak with our public librarians about this, and we discussed the difference. And the difference is, in a public library, there is a children's section, and then there are other sections that are denoted by what we would consider adult material, historical material, whatever. It's all laid out that way. In a library, in a school, it is just not laid out that way, and there's less control for the teachers to know what's on the shelves, and some of these books just come in and they look like they're okay from the outside. You know, judge a book by its cover, but what's inside is very harmful. And we did hear from a young woman, a very brave young woman, that came to us and talked about some of these books, and she did say that she was sexually assaulted and she saw herself in these books. Right after, we had a person who does counseling for a living and deals with not only sexual predators, but also sexual assault victims, who said that is very dangerous and harmful for students that have had these situations, reading about these things in these pages, because they are reliving the victimization and they're seeing themselves being harmed all over again. It is time that we as a body come together and support families, support parental rights to protect their children and provide guardrails for them, and above all, to protect the children of this state. I ask you to support this bill. Thank you, Madam President.